So, a little bit about me before we get into this video. I am a guy who was heavily anticipating Anthem, and I was devastated and heartbroken when EA decided to not continue working on that game or stopping BioWare from working on it. I'm not crazy about Destiny. I hate Destiny's DLC and expansion model. I believe if a game is free to play, it needs to be free to play. And I'm just Warframe isn't exactly my kind of thing. There are a lot of mechanics I like about Warframe, and there's a lot of things about Warframe I don't like. So I want to let you guys know, my status on some of the biggest like looter shooters out there. I love Borderlands, and I really enjoyed Outriders. However, I think they made the stupid mistake of not making themselves a live service. They had a great and complete game and decided to continue on it twice. And I just find that silly. And I honestly feel like after playing the first Descendant for a few hours, that this is a developer that has looked at all of those things, a lot of the shortcomings and silly mistakes that a lot of the other big looter shooters make, and say, hey, we're going to try and do everything right. But with that being said, this is a beta, so I want you guys to keep that in mind. Gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127, and welcome back to another video. And before we get into today's video, I do want to give a special thank you to my brother-in-law, Mr. Haseo Ryu. Make sure you all follow him on twitch.tv, and I'll share his link down in the description. Also, a special shout out to my girl Aki Rain 127. Make sure y'all follow her and check her out on Twitch as well. And a big shout out to our good friend Jay Craze. Check him out on Twitter. And just show all these individuals for some love, because because of them I was able to make this video, get some good content out for you guys, and actually give y'all my first impressions of the first Descendant. Now, disclaimer, this is a beta, honeymoon phase. I have been looking for a new looter shooter for a long time, and so far from what I have played and seen, this feels good. This makes me excited. This does not mean that they cannot make mistakes and screw up later on, which I'm hoping they don't, but so far from what I've seen, please, ooh, I love this fucking game, man. I just, I don't know how else to put it. It's literally like somebody just, watched every screw up that Warframe, Destiny, and every freaking looter shooter has made, and just said, all right, don't do this. We're going to do like that, and blah, blah, blah. And I know, I get it. A lot of people are going to have a hard time believing that because the publisher is Nexon. But everything in here is like, they copied and pasted the right things from some of these games and just said, all right, well, we're going to do things like this, just to make sure everything goes well. And guys, so far, I could not be more happy. So the first and foremost thing about the first Descendant is crossplay and cross progression right out the gate. You can play with anybody on anything, literally, except Nintendo Switch and mobile. This game is on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5, PC. You can play with anyone on anything. Unreal Engine 5, the visuals are gorgeous. The gunplay is solid. There's tons and tons of loot. There's so many different variants of all kinds of different weapons. I don't know how many times, right, I have gotten, like the same assault rifle, like, for example, from running a boss over and over, but it'll have a plethora of different stats on it each time. It'll have slightly increased damage, but, one will do poison damage, another will do ice damage, another will do fire damage. One will do poison damage with a higher fire rate, another will do fire damage with a lower fire rate but more damage. And, there's so much here, and it's like this, with like all the guns and stuff like that. And I'm not saying, you get a ton of the same weapon drops over and over, but the variety that they have in this game is nuts. And, you don't see that right away with a with a lot of things, but with a lot of different games. But the way that they shower you with loot from the jump is is amazing, and that blew my mind. Now, grant, like I said, this is a beta, and I know action RPGs, which technically are what looter shooters are, action RPGs. They have a thing where they shower you with loot in the beta, so you get a feel for a variety of weapons, and then they tone it down in the full game. If this is how the loot pool is going to be in the full game, I think players will be satisfied. One thing I do have a little concern with the first Descendant is some of the open world stuff and a lot of the leveling. It feels a little too easy. Now, granted, like I said, I haven't gotten too far into the game. I haven't experienced like any type of end game or harder, higher level content. Like for example, I've raised one of the Descendants to about level 14 or 15, and right now I'm currently working on Bunny, and I'm trying to grind some pieces to unlock Freyna, and my Bunny's at like a level 8 or 9, and I don't even have Freyna yet. So I haven't experienced like really harder, high end content. So I very well could just be speaking, from the earlier easy stuff. But so far, that's my one concern is everything feels a little bit too easy, and I think that's what's leaning me into my skepticism a bit and making me worried. Some is I think they're just handing everything out, just a bit too quickly. Now, one thing I did notice in the game is it does take Warframe's model like down to the teeth with earning other Descendants, and let me explain that to you. You literally grind components to build different parts for the Descendant, and then once you have all 4 or 5 parts, you put the Descendant together, and they will be complete within 12 hours, unless you use a special currency to speed up that assembly. If you've played Warframe, let me know if that sounds at all familiar to you. But yeah, like I said, guys, they've copied a lot of good things from some other shooters. It has a giant social hub where you can group up with other players. The game has built-in text chat and built-in keyboard support even for consoles, so it's easy to to communicate with other players. It also has voice chat as well. And guys, there's just so much that they have done right here. The characters all have really cool outfits. There's cosmetics that you get for playing the beta. There's cosmetics that you can earn for free. There's all kinds of different dyes and things. And not to mention your cosmetics that you get, you can even color and change the colors of your cosmetics. So even if you buy a special skin out of the shop, you can customize that skin even more. Now you can't customize the Descendants themselves, which is kind of a little bit disappointing. I do wish the Descendants you could just like change the skin, hair, and eye colors of them or something. Just to personalize them a little bit more. I do wish you could do something like that. But the fact that you can't, it's not a big deal, not too much of a deal breaker or anything. I just wish that little level of customization for every Descendant was there. That would have been a nice thing. Let's say somebody wants to make their I don't know, their bunny black, white, Asian, or whatever. You have the option to do that. I just think that would be a nice little touch. But the fact that you can't really isn't a deal breaker. It's no kind of big crazy deal or anything. I just think that would be something nice, or maybe the dev team could even consider in the future, since it's a live service game. Another thing I do love about the game too is the Descendants. There are a variety of play styles here. Now, me personally, in the gameplay you guys are seeing right now, you'll see that I picked one of these starter basic characters from the main menu. I cannot remember this dude's name for nothing, but he's literally the guy in the middle with the grenades. God, I don't know why I can't remember his name, so please forgive me. The only character I really didn't care too much for was him, because he seems so basic, generic, and he's like the Victor or the Soldier 76 in like in Overwatch or Paladins or something. He's the typical guy that looks like he's from Call of Duty, that that has the ability to make his guns better and throw big AoE grenades to blow stuff up. Now, he does have 2 other cool abilities where he can like fire these big AoE sunbeam looking things in this grenade that like sucks enemies in to give you an easy way to kill a cluster of them. But the character just seemed really basic. From a design aspect, he's really cool, but his abilities, and just using him for play was just a bit mad to me. But everyone else in the game, their abilities and stuff, the way they are, the different elements and everything like that, I love it. Hands down, I really don't have too many complaints. Like I said, the only things I'm really concerned about for this game and for the future of it is, for one, just making sure monetization is handled fairly, and number two, I see the grind for the Descendants. I just hope the grind isn't so terrible and dreadful that it turns people off or makes them lose hope of earning their Descendant through gameplay or earning them for free. Because I know Warframe at times, the grinds for some of those frames in the game, it can be devastating, and people will just give up. Well, wow, I'll never earn this frame by playing, so I'll pay for it, or I won't play the game anymore. And it sucks to make people feel like that. So I just hope the grind for the characters just really isn't that bad. Other than that, the only other thing I want to see from this game is I want to see how it gets through endgame. I want to know if the challenge really gets harder. I want to know if the bosses are really more difficult. Do they plan to add stuff like raids and things like that in this game? But other than that, guys, the first Descendant, it's really exciting. I'm really enjoying it, and if you haven't played the beta yet, play it. And trust me, I get it. If you're watching this video from me right now, this video probably sounds really overhyped, hype status. But guys, I'm really loving what I'm seeing right now. Like, I dived into this game, I went to the different NPCs, I looked through the systems. I'm looking at the mods you can do for your weapons, for your character, and stuff like that. It's literally like they have just been watching Destiny and Warframe for like the past, like 5, 6, 7 years, and be like, all right, whatever they do right, let's do that. Whatever they do wrong, let's not do that. And that's all I see from this beta so far. But like I said, guys, it's a beta, so take it with a grain of salt. We'll see what full release is like. I'm excited. If you like Destiny, Warframe, or any type of ARPG or looter shooter, I would definitely say y'all should check this out. Play the beta. It's up to the 26th. Let me know how y'all are feeling. Anyway, y'all enjoyed today's video? Smash that like button. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.